Hey, what's up guys, John here. 2024 will be the year of rolling blackouts all throughout America.
More than half of the U.S. could face dangerous blackouts and outages this winter.
According to JP Chase, they've made many predictions about major U.S. cities going through a period of massive disruption with no oil, no gas, no energy inside of their properties and inside of their cities. What is shocking is they made this prediction on the 7th of January, nearly 10 days ago, and so far, 70% of the cities that they said will have rolling blackouts are going through this right now. Just look at Chicago, for example. You have hundreds, if not thousands, of Teslas unable to be charged with freezing temperatures.
Chicago remains in the deep freeze with sub-zero temperatures, leaving drivers of electric cars calling for tows and waiting in lines to charge.
Look at LA Times. They put this article out recently saying, would an occasional blackout help solve this? I'm showing you the cities. I'm showing you what they're saying is going to happen next. I'll show you what's happening on whitehouse.gov. I'll help you connect the dots so you can see clearly where America is going in 2024 to help you and position you for what I think is going to be a pretty uncertain future. I'm going to break this down. I'm going to give you the facts. Please hit the like button. When you hit the like button, YouTube will share the content, educate more people about what's going on in America's economy. And if you'd like to fix your credit to position yourself for what I think is going to be a massive transfer of assets and a very big shift in America, you need great credit to get funding. If you have late payments, medical bills, charge-offs, foreclosures, bankruptcies, repossessions, or any negative item in your credit report, go to GreatCreditFast.com, click the link in the description just below this video, schedule a free strategy session. Take a look at this. So, JP Chase, this prediction, when the dates are very important. So this prediction, January 7th, they said these are their 10 shockers for 2024. And this is it. This prediction is major U.S. cities to face electricity outages and natural gas outages. Kimbalest has also cited potential issues that major cities could face that include electricity and gas outages. Citing North America Electricity Reliability Association 2023 risk assessment, their assessment says that large portions of North America's power system is at a risk of insufficient electricity supply during peak winter conditions. According to their assessment, prolonged wide area cold snaps, think of Chicago, threaten the reliable performance of bulk power system generations and the availability of natural gas. Regions include New England, rely on natural gas imports, but states that are now elevated risk: New York, Texas, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Tennessee. Now, let's look at these dates and let's look at those cities. So, this is the 7th. Now you have, this is on the 17th. This is today. This is thousands without power in East Tennessee as frigid temperatures move in. Knoxville, Tennessee, thousands of people in East Tennessee are without power amid single-digit temperatures Wednesday morning. The outages come as Tennessee Valley Authority is put to its first real cold weather test since December 2022 when it had to implement rolling blackouts during freezing temperatures. WVLT News has been speaking with TVA officials who have asked people to reduce power usage to keep the grid functioning. Those officials also say TVA has invested millions since 2022 to upgrade and reduce changes of rolling blackouts. Okay, next one. Memphis, January 15th. This is Monday. They say that they could implement these conservation measures on Tuesday. So this could happen, potentially today, tomorrow, could happen the next day, might not happen at all. But during a press conference about the recent severe weather in Memphis Light and Gas and Water CEO, Doug McGovern, said that while the system is working normal limits, power conservation orders could come as soon as Tuesday. So that's the 15th. Then you have Texas. This is the 14th. So from the 7th, you have the 7th, then the 17th, then the 15th, now Texas on the 14th. ERCOT asked Texas to conserve electricity. Monday morning expects tight grid conditions. ERCOT, the agency that manages most of the state's power grid, is asking Texas residents to conserve electricity, if safe to do so, from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Monday. Frigid temperatures continue to grip the state. Due to continued freezing temperatures, very high demand, and unseasonably low wind, operating reserves are expected to be low during morning hours of Monday, January 15th, prior to the solar ramp-up. ERCOT said a news release on Sunday. Similar conditions on Tuesday morning. It is expected to be 12 degrees in Dallas-Fort Worth and may issue another appeal, that time monitoring conditions. Then, New York. They listed New York here, and on New York's prediction, right here, New York. In New York, they said, like a report from the New York Independent System Operator found that New York may be vulnerable to power outages as soon as 2025, right? Blackouts may be coming to New York sooner than thought. So look at this, right? Every single city so far, they have New York, they have Texas, they have Tennessee. I mean, we'll see what happens with Philadelphia and Wisconsin, but when we look at what's going on, where we're actually headed as a society, as America, the Biden administration announced Saturday, this is December 2nd, so they announced Saturday they're committed to phasing out coal power plants nationwide and not building new ones as it moves ahead with this. So when you look at this, you're like, all right, October 19th is Department of Energy. Much of U.S. electricity grid was built in the 1960s and 1970s. While the system has been improved with automation and some emerging technologies, our aging infrastructure is struggling to meet modern electricity needs, such as renewable energy resources and growing building and transportation electrification. They've talked a lot about changing the electrification of properties, about turning everything solar and really getting us off of the grid and putting us into an electrified new solution. So when you look at the amount of money that's being spent here, this is October 30th, so nearly 2.5 months ago, Biden-Harris administration announces historic investment to bolster nation's electricity grid infrastructure, cut energy costs for families, and create good-paying jobs. And one of the things that they mention here is, you look at the amount of money they're putting here, $748 million, $3.5 billion. And they want to expand the capacity to unlock renewable energy resources and reduce the frequency and duration of power outages. So, you start to look at this, you just have to ask yourself, what are the odds, right? Investment in grid hardening, like strengthening critical transmission lines, hardening electricity poles with stronger materials, and improving flood mitigation will ensure that communities have power when natural disaster strikes and the power outages do not last long when they do. Recently announced investments will also support more than 400 microgrids, which can continue to operate if the main grid is affected by extreme weather event. Now, this conversation that happened at Davos. In Davos, they made a prediction that this from the CEO, mid-1950s, and late 1970s, oil companies were finding around 5 times as much oil was used, a ratio that has steadily declined to about 25% in 2023. She said that from 2012, U.S. oil companies moved away from exploration and focused on tapping shale oil reserves, which have a much stronger lifespan than conventionally produced oil. She added that she expects energy transition scenarios will have to be adjusted to accommodate for more oil exploration. I think the industry is looking at a scenario where we'll be able to do all the things that we need to do as part of the transition. The market will move near-term oversupply to a long period when the world is going to need more oil. So you're kind of seeing the writing on the wall, but here's something that I think a lot of people are not realizing. If the grid goes down, there will be a million problems. But one of the main problems for a lot of homeowners would be freezing pipes. In Chicago and many areas, when there's no energy, there's no way to heat the home, the pipes will freeze and burst. And to replace the pipes on maybe a 2,000 square foot home, average home in America, might be 20 grand, might be more. It could be maybe 22, 25 grand. And so when you are an insurance company and you're insuring an entire area, you have millions of policies and you start having certain pockets go out and you have to replace pipes on thousands of homes, what's going to happen? All those costs are going to be pushed on the insurance companies, the losses are going to accumulate, and they're going to be pushed back on to everybody else. So what could happen is we could see a rise in insurance right here. How high could insurance rates jump this year? Costs just for the pipes between $3,000 to $16,000. I personally think that if we see a situation where there's a lot of properties that have this scenario, there's going to be a demand for the repiping of properties to where it's just going to be supply and demand. Prices are going to continue to rise. So I think we could see a situation, I could see a scenario here in America, 2024, where this is the least of people's problems. But just as a context for everybody else, in areas that are not, inside of this risk area, those costs, those losses would be passed on. Look at what's happened in Maine. Look at all the problems that Florida's had recently. Look at all the wildfires in California. All these problems are going to be an issue for insurance, not just on home insurance, but also auto insurance. Same thing going on with these Teslas in Chicago. All of these problems are something we should all be paying attention to. And when JP Morgan Chase is coming out saying that, this could be a threat, I believe them. I believe they have access to better information, better data. They have really great information compared to the everyday American, right? And when they're saying that this is going to be a risk, they're putting their money where their mouth is. They're not just saying this and doing nothing with that data, with that information. What do you think about this entire situation? Drop below. Do you think we're going to see rolling blackouts and we're going to start to see a lot of change in America's economy because of it? Let's have a conversation about this in the comments section. If you'd like to fix your credit to position yourself for what I believe is going to be a massive wealth transfer in 2024, we'd love to help fix your credit at GreatCreditFast.com. That's GreatCreditFast.com. If you have late payments, medical bills, charge-offs, foreclosures, bankruptcies, repossessions, or any negative item on your credit report, go to GreatCreditFast.com, click the link in the description just below this video, schedule a free strategy session for tomorrow. Catch you in the next video.